Good morning. Welcome to Ready, Set, Ride, introducing the Metro E-Line. We have the next slide, please. So to get us started this morning, I'd like to just kind of go over how this will work for us. We're going to do a recording of this webinar, and it will be emailed. We'll send you a link and a copy of the slides within 10 days. We'll be doing questions at the end of the presentation, and to submit your questions, please use our Q&A tool on Zoom. And we'll touch on those questions at the end. If you think of questions after the fact, you can certainly email them to me, Michelle Leonard, and my email address is mleonard@494quarter.org. And so we'll jump ahead to the next slide, please. So let's do some introductions. Our speakers today are Eric Thompson, who is a community outreach coordinator for the Metro E-Line with Metro Transit. He's been working on the project for over 3 years. Eric is a Minnesota native who has a master's degree in urban and regional planning, and he is passionate about elevating community voices and creating community connections. Next slide. We also have John Barabs with us. John has had several positions at Move Minneapolis, and he is currently their senior outreach manager. Prior to coming to Move Minneapolis, he worked in the transportation sector with a position at Our Car and then a cartography company. And he's also worked at the Star Tribune and in radio broadcasting. John is an avid bicyclist, trained nerd, and music geek. He can often be seen riding to his home in Hopkins with a bag of groceries and a stack of records. Next slide, please. And my name is Michelle Leonard. I am the Communications and Outreach Manager for Commuter Services. I had a journalism career for 22 years, and now I specialize in resource development and newsletter content. And I also oversee the residential outreach program for our organization, Commuter Services. I serve as the communications chair for the Midwest chapter of the Association for Commuter Transportation. Next slide. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Eric. He'll give us all the good news we need to know about the Metro E-Line.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk today about the Metro E-Line project that's near and dear to my heart. So the E-Line is coming. We have 18 days until opening on December 6th. So some things that we'll talk about. What is BRT, or Bus Rapid Transit? Why did we choose the E-Line? A little bit of a construction recap. Talk about a new route that will be coming at the same time as the E-Line, the Route 36. We'll talk a little bit about how to ride, and then we'll get into some of the fun opening day activities. So Metro Transit's Arterial BRT Toolkit. So basically, what is Bus Rapid Transit? It's busing that is designed to be a faster, more frequent, more comfortable way to ride. And the way that we do that is we space stations out a bit further, so 2 to 3 stations per mile. There's high-tech, high-amenity, secure stations, and we'll talk more about those stations and what they all contain in a minute. But part of it is pre-boarding fare payment. So instead of getting onto the bus and paying, you pay at the stop before you get on. We have high capacity buses that you can board through all doors. So there's 3 boarding doors, and you can get on and off each of the doors. There's bus priority signals in some lanes. So what the bus priority signals do is they actually just hold a light to stay green just a little bit longer to make sure that the bus can get through. And then again, we have faster, more frequent all-day service. And all of this adds up to, in general, about a 20% increase in ride times throughout the extent of the corridor. So this is a typical Bus Rapid Transit station. This is at Penn and 43rd. And it's all of the stations have a lot of the same features. So they're going to have bike racks, they're going to have benches, there'll be garbage and recycling, and then the shelter has heat. They have an emergency call box. And then the pylon has a lot of the amenities as well. So the pylon is the tall structure that has a screen on it. The screen actually shows you a live update of when your next bus is coming. There is, like I said, a 24/7 security camera up on the pylon, and there's a button at the base of the pylon that you can push that will let folks who are unsighted or low vision know when the next bus is coming. It will read aloud when the next bus is coming. And then there is the ticket vending machines and the go-to card readers. So again, folks tapping those and paying before they get on. So this is a really cool map. This is our metro map, and what a metro system is our high frequency network. So these are all buses and light rail trains that are coming at a very frequent rate. And so we're really expanding upon this map to make it easier than ever for folks to hop onto transit without looking at a schedule. You can see here in the red, you have the new Metro E-Line, but then also this year we created the Metro B-Line and the Gold Line. So 34 stops between the Southdale Transit Center and the Westgate Station is what we constructed this year for the E-Line. It'll be replacing that Route 6, opening on December 6th. And a cool stat here is, this map is expansive, but it's really only 2% of the land area in the 7-county region, but it connects to 29% of jobs and 16% of the population. So very cool to be expanding this network this much this year. It's kind of a first for us to be opening this many lines in the same year. So a little bit of the background of why the E-Line was chosen. The Route 6 is one of our busiest routes. It's carrying approximately 45% of people traveling on segments of Hennepin, but making up less than 3% of vehicle traffic. So great area for investment. It's really designed for faster, more reliable and frequent service between St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Edina, and traveling through really important nodes there, Dinkytown, Uptown, downtown, and it's connecting a lot of spaces. Planning engagement began in 2018, and since then we've done a ton of in-person community engagement along the line, a lot of engagement that came through the mail, a lot of engagement online. So reaching out in a variety of manners over the last 7 years. Like we said, the E-Line will be coming as well as the Route 36, and they will be fully replacing the Route 6, which will also end on December 6th. And the construction happened last year and this year, 2024 through 2025. And we'll kind of talk more about that. A little bit of a recap here. We built a lot. It was 53 new stations, shelter, heat, lighting, real-time signs. All these amenities mean that it was a lot of infrastructure work. So we tried to build these coordinating with our partners. So 25 stations were constructed in coordination with partner-led projects. 12 intersections with locally funded improvements for safety and accessibility. We didn't just build transit stations. We really built out some things for safety along this corridor. And there's 3 temporary platforms on 4th Street and University Avenue. Those will turn into full stations further down the line. We built 1 operator restroom at the end of the line at the Westgate Station because it's a fun picture at the bottom right because it's really important that we take care of our operators. So this is us dropping in the pylon at Hennepin and Spruce in September. And this is one of those temporary stations. This one's at 4th and 6th Street. And you can see they have a lot of the amenities that we're looking at our more built out stations, but it is missing things like the pylon, and some of these amenities are quite a bit smaller. So looking at upgrading this in the future. So again, about these partner projects, 2 things happened. We built things for our partners, and our partners built things for us. So as we went along, we did upgrades to fiber optic communication infrastructure. We built a lot of additional pedestrian safety features, bikeways, and we did these things with and for Hennepin County and the state of Minneapolis. And then Hennepin County, City of Minneapolis, and MnDOT, through their projects, we're building some stations for us, and we'll have some links to those projects as well. So this map on the right is really cool, and it shows basically everything you need to know. In the light red stripes, it shows where the eliminated Route 6 is. In the gray, it shows where the new Metro E line will be, which will be traveling from the Southdale Transit Center north on France Avenue, and then it'll be north on Hennepin, and then east on University and 4th Street to the Westgate Transit Station. And then it also shows the new Route 36, which I'll get into a little bit more in the next slide. But the E-Line service will be from 4:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. all days. It'll be every 10 to 15 minutes most of the day. It won't be that frequent at the later times at night. So we did eliminate 52 stops, but 90% of Route 6 riders are still within 1 block of an E-Line station. Uptown to downtown will be about as fast as 10 minutes, and uptown to the U of M in as fast as 20. And so that supporting bus network will have that new Route 36. And then the Route 540 will be picking up portions of the Route 6K, which is some of that east-west travel that's pretty far south in the metro there. So the new Route 36 travels between 78th Street and Johnson to the Uptown Transit Station. And again, it goes on Xerxes. This will be a local service route, so it'll be stopping a lot more frequently than the E-Line. And it'll go to places like the Uptown and Hennepin Avenue Shopping District, Southdale Transit Center. And importantly, it's going to connect you to the new Metro B line, E lines, and the 540. And you can kind of learn more about the Route 36 at metrotransit.org/route dash 36. Some folks have reached out to me and asked when we'll see a schedule for the new Route 36. Typically those happen 2 weeks before launch, so probably about November 22nd. So how do we ride the E-Line? For folks who haven't ridden BRT before, first you just pay your fare. You can either tap your card on the go-to reader, you could buy a ticket from the ticket machine, you can use a cash or card, or you can use the Metro Transit app and you can buy a ticket on there and activate it before you board. And then you just walk on. You don't have to talk to the driver. And then if a trip agent, those are folks that work for us and just ask folks to show that they've paid. If they ask, you just show them how you paid. And then just so you know, there's some fare programs available. There's the TAP program, Transit Assistance Program, which means you always get $1 fare. It's for folks who receive benefits from the government. Seniors, youth, disability all get discounts. And this is a little bit more about those fares. We simplified our fares in the last year. This is a metro route, so it's a $2 base fare. And you can, again, fares can be paid in a variety of ways. Children 5 and under ride free. And there's a whole list of reduced and mobility fare rates for seniors, those who receive Medicare, and the like. So if you don't yet have a go-to card, that's how we tap and pay for a lot of our system. You can receive one at one of these Metro Transit service centers. You can receive them at any Cub Foods. You can order them by mail. You can go to metrotransit.org and they'll mail them to you. Or you can call customer relations 612-373-3333 with your questions. And basically, I'm just going to plug that. If y'all have never called Transit Information Center, our customer relations 612-373-3333, just going to say it again. They're great. They can answer any question for you. How much money do you have left on your go-to card? Or if you have a problem route planning or you think you missed a bus, give them a call and they're super, super helpful. And then if you want to organize a how to ride, say for example, you live in an apartment building where folks are interested, but they've never ridden transit before, or you work with a school or a daycare that has interest, you can call this number, 651-231-8435, or you can email Doug Cook at douglas.cook@metrotransit.org, and he does a great job of getting out and organizing these how to rides to give you one-on-one information, some experiential learning. So then on to the fun stuff. Opening day celebration will be December 6th at Minneapolis College. The ribbon cutting, the remarks, we're going to start it off at 10 a.m. We'll have a lot of public officials there speaking, but there's going to be a lot going on. There's going to be music, there'll be giveaways, Skip Traffic, our mascot, there'll be a photo booth, community tables, refreshments. And to get there, the E-Line will be free on opening day. So free rides on opening day, thanks to Minneapolis College, who sponsored those free rides. And so the opening remarks to the ribbon cutting will be about 10 to 11 a.m. And then from 11 to 2 p.m., it's just going to be a celebration, like we said, with some of those activities, games, things going on. But then also, if you want to get out and just ride the E-Line, we created something called the E-Line Passport Adventure. So a little bit about the E-Line Passport Adventure. This was a program we designed to really showcase all the fun things there are to do along the E-Line and all the really important establishments that already exist along the E-Line that we want to connect people to. So what we did is we reached out to neighborhood associations, business associations, and said, hey, which businesses, institutions would want to be a part of this? And we've got a lot of feedback, a lot of different businesses that said, yeah, we would like to play along. So folks can collect one of these passports at any of the 3 libraries along the Metro E-Line about a week before launch. Or you can collect a passport at Minneapolis College and the opening ceremony on December 6th. And then once you open up a passport, it has a list of all these different participating folks. You just walk in, they'll give you a stamp. If you go to 3 different communities, 3 different stops along the line and get 3 different stamps, you can then bring your 3 stamped passport to Minneapolis College until 5 p.m. on December 6th, or from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Walker Library a week from then on December 13th. And you can collect a prize for having played along. And that is a very cool limited edition enamel pin that celebrates the launch. So we really hope that we see you out there. We're really excited for this launch. I appreciate y'all taking the time.
Great. Thank you, Eric. We'll hear some more. If you have any questions for Eric, be sure to drop those into the Q&A, and we will cover those when we get through the next 2 sections. So the first thing is I want to just talk a little bit, introduce you to Commuter Services if you're not familiar with our organization. So Eric, could you forward to the next slide, please? Commuter Services is the outreach program of the 494 Corridor Commission. And the Corridor Commission is a joint powers agreement organization. It was formed in the 80s to address all the new traffic congestion that was starting to happen along 494. And our area, the Corridor Commission, is made up of the cities of Bloomington, Eden Prairie, Edina, Minnetonka, and Richfield. And a couple fun nuggets here. There are more jobs in this section of I-494 than in downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul combined. And according to MnDOT, on any given day, someone from 85 out of Minnesota's 87 counties actually travel along this section of I-494. Next slide, please. I just wanted to introduce a couple of the past programs that are available for transit. Commuter Services and our colleagues at Move Minneapolis, and you will meet John shortly. We are able to help employers, commuters, and residents with past programs so that they're able to maybe get some discounts for their transit programs. So the first one I want to talk about is MetroPass, and this is something that is a discounted transit pass for unlimited rides. An organization or company needs one person to enroll the company, and then that cost for that pass is $83 per month, which is taken as a payroll deduction, and it's pre-tax. So there is a little cost savings there for the rider. And companies or organizations there's no cost for it unless the employer chooses to subsidize that pass. Next slide, please. The Transit Assistance Program, which Eric mentioned earlier, this is a wonderful program that is available to folks who are on low or fixed incomes. They do need to go in and enroll. You can either do it in person or online. But then it makes all trips $1, and it's an unlimited use pass. And the stipulation, of course, is because it is for folks who are on lower fixed incomes, they do have to provide identification and documentation, which substantiates the financial eligibility. The next slide, please. And then there's the residential transit pass. And this is a deeply discounted pass that's available for multifamily properties with 10 units or more. And what it does is it puts a $14 a unlimited use pass in every unit of a facility at a cost of $14 per unit per month. And this pass then works on buses, trains, and the new Metro Micro service, which is popping up in some area communities. This is a contract between the property management or ownership and Metro Transit, but we can help to make those connections if that is something that is of interest. Next slide. And then there's just some other resources that are available for commuters. We can get a customized bus or train route itinerary, plus a couple free passes to try it. We can get folks some system brochures or transit maps, and also help you to find information like the Text for Safety program, and then the reloadable passes, those go-to cards that Eric was talking about earlier. Next slide, please. And finally, I wanted to talk about Guaranteed Ride Home. Now, Guaranteed Ride Home is kind of a safety net for commuters. You register for it in advance if you are taking a sustainable commute. So that's carpool, vanpool, transit, bike commuting, walking, working from home, something like that. It's 3 or more days per week. And then if, say, you've bike commuted and you blow a tire on your way, you can call for an Uber or Lyft or something like that, and they'll come and pick you up. And if you've pre-registered, you just turn in that receipt, and then you can get reimbursed for that expense. And this is paid by the Met Council, and it is free to commuters who have registered. Next slide, please. And then, as I mentioned, we work with employers, we work with commuters, and we work with residents. So some of the resources that we have for employers, we can create displays, much like the ones that we did here. We customize everything to what your organization would need. We can also help to facilitate a free bike rack for places. We have a preferential carpool parking management that we can do for an organization. We do a lot of commuter fairs, which is we bring our show on the road and set everything up and meet with commuters on a face-to-face basis. We also do lunch and learns, which are maybe a little bit more, explaining a bigger project or something like that. Customized communications, we can write newsletter articles, help create flyers. Then there's the past programs that we've mentioned. We have telework and hybrid resources, and we also partner with MnDOT to provide road construction updates. Next slide, please. And for our commuter assistance, the ride matching, we do have that. We can do those customized transit things, but we also can help you find a partner for carpooling or van pooling. We have a wealth of bike commuting resources and the Guaranteed Ride Home program, our telework and hybrid resources. And then I'll also note that a lot of our resources are available in multiple languages, and most of what we have are in Somali and Spanish. However, we can translate other materials as requested. Next slide, please. And then our residential outreach program. This is working with multifamily properties. We get resources to them so that they can turn around and provide those resources to their residents. Some of the things that we do are much like what we have for employers and commuters. The free displays, transit maps, bike maps, the TAP information. We also do a lot of tabling at properties, and then we do share that construction information through direct emails. Next slide, please. And our Twin Cities telework program. Twin Cities, we had so much telework information, we created our own website for it. Now it's tctelework.com, and we have resources there for employers, their managers, and their employees. They're ranging everything from how to get started and learning some best practices for working from home to setting up your home office in an ergonomic manner, mental health tips. We have things that for managers to help learn how to bridge the gap between the folks who work at home and the folks who are in the office. Just everything and more, and it's all free, and it's available at tctelework.com. Next slide, please. And finally, commuter services. We do monthly pledge drawings, and it's for you take a pledge to try a sustainable commute. So again, that's at taking transit, bike commuting, carpool or van pool, and working from home. Our monthly prices vary. This right now, we are wrapping up our 2-month Try It campaign, which is called Discover Your New Commute. So if you have tried any of these sustainable commutes since October 1st or will before November 30th, drop in at commuter.org and sign up, and we'll get you into our drawing for an e-bike. And with that, that is the last that I have today. I will pass this along. If we could forward the slides, we'll pass it along to our colleague, John Barabs from Move Minneapolis.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Eric, next slide, please. I'm John Barabs. I'm the Senior Outreach Manager for Move Minneapolis, and Michelle did a really great job explaining what a transportation management organization does. Move Minneapolis does similar work as commuter services, except that our territory is focusing on downtown Minneapolis. Our target market is employers, commuters, visitors, and residents of downtown Minneapolis, and we work with all the transportation service providers. That would also include Metro Transit, of course, and we help educate and promote sustainable transportation options to our audiences that I listed. Next slide, please. So Eric talked about the Metro E-Line that spans over 13 miles. I'm going to focus on the E-Line and what it means to downtown Minneapolis, and also how the bus rapid transit route also improves the infrastructure for everybody along the entire corridor. So who does the E-Line serve? According to the Minneapolis Downtown Council, 216,000 people commute downtown. That number has been increasing more as employers have been mandating back to office. Traffic congestion has gone up. Contract and daily parking rates, which are based on market rates, are also creeping up. And options like transit under those circumstances, becomes more attractive. The old number six, as Eric talked about, was already heavily used. And back in 2019, before the pandemic, over 8,000 daily riders took the Route 6. And that number is, although it went down, has been coming back up. The E line will serve more frequent and faster service to six downtown stations along Hennepin Avenue to better serve the workforce and employers. Over 60,000 people spread in five different neighborhoods call downtown home. They tend to be less car dependent. After all, parking spaces in apartments and condos are pretty expensive. You don't have as many multi-car families that are in downtown Minneapolis, or many single people that live there don't even have cars. So, in that respect, the E line intersects three downtown neighborhoods and is not far from the other two. So for downtown residents, the E line can also be a valuable reverse commute option. People going from downtown Minneapolis to jobs in the uptown area or at the University of Minnesota or down in Edina. The E line is also used by downtown visitors or will be used by downtown visitors. Attractions and events brought over 10 million visitors in 2024. On a busy weekend, when you factor in traffic and event parking prices, transit options like the E line are very attractive. After a Twins game or a concert at the State Theater or Orpheum, the frequent schedules of a BRT route mean that one can show up at the station, one of the six that I mentioned, and they don't even have to know what the bus schedule is ahead of time. They'll know that there's going to be a bus coming shortly. And usually in a matter of minutes, they can look at the next trip monitor at each of the stations and see exactly how long it'll take before the next bus arrives. And service is going until 1 a.m. So you don't have to worry if you're exiting from a concert and it's 11 o'clock at night, you'll be able to hop onto an E line. Next slide, please. Downtown Minneapolis is home to a number of Fortune 500 companies. Employers like Wells Fargo, US Bank, Ameriprise, and Target recently mandated that more of their employees come to the office. The policies vary, but more of the workforce is commuting downtown, and that's impacting both large and small employers. These are the top 10 employers in downtown Minneapolis that are listed. The ones in red are located within 2 blocks of the upcoming E line, and the other ones are a matter of a few blocks more, and also they are connected by Skyway. So there shouldn't be any difficulty to be able to get to the E line, to access the E line relatively easy at one of the six stations year round. And beyond the largest companies, over 200 downtown employers value transit by offering the MetroPass. Michelle talked about how the MetroPass works. So over 200 downtown employers offer that as a benefit for their employees. The E-line means better, faster commuting for workers along this 13-mile corridor. Next slide, please. Students are also going to be served. There are 7 colleges and universities that are close to the E-line, along with 7 public and private high schools. The Student Pass program is a transit pass available at Minneapolis Public District High Schools for Minneapolis Public District High School students. And there are also select schools outside of the Minneapolis School District that offer the Student Pass program. Metro Transit also factors in extra bus service to accommodate the increased demand during the school start and end times during the day. And you can see a number of the schools that are listed on this slide include both public schools and private schools. Some are literally right on the bus lines, such as De La Salle and Fair schools. But Blake School is also quite close, and others are within a few blocks. And you can see from the colleges, there are 7 that are listed here. Some are very close and some are a little bit further away, but still accessible to the E-Line. College students participating at participating schools such as the University of Minnesota and Minneapolis College will really benefit from the E-Line providing access right to their campuses. The College Pass is offered at participating schools, and it gives the student an affordable way to get to school. It reduces parking demand, and the passes are valid for unlimited rides on all regional buses and trains. Students can purchase their pass through their schools, not through Metro Transit. And the College Pass costs $165 per semester, so more or less 3 months worth of service for $165. Next slide, please. Eric shared a little bit about the Network Now, fast and frequent routes that are current or are being planned. 6 of these high-frequency bus rapid transit and light rail routes intersect downtown, and that also includes the Blue and Green Line light rail lines. The addition of the E-Line brings a new east-west corridor into the mix. And this illustrates that downtown is not always the destination for riders. Because the BRT and LRT lines intersect, downtown is a major transfer point to be able to reach many points throughout the Twin Cities. And future plans for the network expansion in downtown include the opening of the Green Line Extension LRT that will go from downtown Minneapolis to Eden Prairie, and the extension of the Gold Line BRT from downtown St. Paul into downtown Minneapolis. Both of those are happening by 2027. Next slide, please. So we've been focusing on the Metro E-Line Transit, but the new route also comes with brand new multimodal road infrastructure improvements. That means better and safer access for pedestrians, bicyclists, and for drivers of cars. Over $11 million in funding by Hennepin County and the city of Minneapolis went towards pedestrian and accessibility improvements along that entire corridor. This includes things like safe street curb cuts at many intersections for pedestrians, on-street and protected bike lanes that are located along most of the route, painted bus-only lanes, and better wayfinding and signage for drivers. And please note that the red painted bus-only lanes in the uptown area are enforced during the morning and evening rush hours. During the off-peak hours, regular traffic can utilize those lanes. And like all Metro Transit buses, the 60-foot E-Line articulated buses, articulated is the accordion buses, are equipped with bus bike racks to make multiple commuting modes available. You can put your bike on the bus in the morning and go to work, and you don't have to worry about in the summertime getting all sweaty. And then you can ride your bike home after work. That's like one of my favorite ways to go to downtown. But again, it's incorporating multiple modes that you can utilize to be able to do commuting or to any transportation that you really need. The proximity of e-bike and scooter share in Minneapolis also provides an additional way to supplement that first mile, last mile gap. These infrastructure improvements mean safer and more efficient use of the E-Line corridor, no matter if you are on a bus, on biking, walking, or in a car. Everybody who uses the corridor will benefit out of this. And with that, I am going to pass the baton. And I believe we are now into the question and section.
Yeah, thanks, John. For our Q&A. Again, I would just encourage you to leave a note in our Q&A tab down on in Zoom here. And I would like to introduce the Executive Director for Commuter Services, Melissa Madison, and she will be reading in some of the questions and answers we've gotten so far. And then again, helping facilitate that conversation if you've got more questions for Eric or John or myself. So with that, Melissa.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Michelle. Great job. Okay, Eric, let's tackle the first question that you answered. It says, thanks for this presentation. I'm thrilled by the new bus stop amenities and have a question about existing bus stop signs. Will the signs for former Route 6 be taken down? And if so, when? I live close to an E-line stop. Will there be a grace period where the drivers stop at former Route 6 bus stops?
Yeah, I can kind of talk about my response here. So the Route 6 stops that have become an E-line, it's easy to see if there's a new E-line stop there because there's a big built-out shelter. The ones that are going to be a little bit harder that have changed are the Route 6 signs where a stop is being consolidated or removed completely, or where there will be new service for the local route, the Route 36. So we're going to be posting rider alerts on those Route 6 stop poles as early as this week. And then about a week before service starts, we'll be posting information about the future Route 36 on those poles, if there's going to be a Route 36 stop there. And then we'll be removing the poles themselves on December 8th. So basically, it will start that process on December 8th. There's a lot of poles after the weekend launch on December 6th. And so the ask about a grace period of asking the drivers to just stop, we're hoping to kind of avoid that because we're having a lot of engagement efforts to let folks know about what's coming. We'll be out on the transit system this week, talking to riders, letting them know about the changes that are upcoming. We'll be out again on the system the week before the new launch, and then the days of and days after. So we're really going to be out there talking to riders, and so we're hoping we can avoid a grace period or any confusion because we're really trying to reach out to folks in person as well as all of the stuff that we're doing online, all of our mailers. So we're really reaching out, trying to let folks know about these changes.
Thanks, Eric. Another question says, about what time will the high frequency period begin in the area south of Uptown? Will it be in place during the morning rush hour?
Yeah, so for the E-line, you can kind of look at the B-line or the D-line schedule because the E-line schedule won't come out until about 2 weeks until launch. So if you look at the B-line or D-line schedule, you can see like service begins at about 4:10 a.m. and the more frequent service begins around 6 a.m. So you should be able to catch a bus early in the commuting hours.
Thank you. Okay, another question says, do you know when bus lanes will be painted on Hennepin Avenue South?
That is one I might have to get back to you on. I have to talk to the city about that.
Okay, and just so the audience knows, we will send a recording of this webinar and a summary of the questions with the answers afterwards. So we'll be able to get the answer back to you. Another question, Eric, where do I pay my fare? Is there a reader on the bus?
Great question. So for the Metro E-line, you'll pay before you get on. There's a card reader to tap your card or a fare ticket machine. And for the Route 36, which is the other new route, the local service route that'll replace kind of the south section of the Route 6, you're going to pay when you get on, just like you normally did with the Route 6.
Very good. And another question, will there be free rides on Route 36 on opening day too, or does the passport work on that?
Yeah, so for opening day, it's just the E-line that has free rides. So again, thank you to Minneapolis College for sponsoring free rides. But on December 6th, it'll be free rides all day on the Metro E-line.
Another question. Does the ticket machine give change or do you need exact change?
The ticket machine does give change, I believe, but I'm gonna double check to just make sure on that. So I'll respond again, but I believe so.
Very good. Okay. And another question. I have a Metro Pass from my employer. Will it work on the E-line?
Yeah, if you have a go-to card through your employer, the Metro Pass, it'll work on the E-line and it'll be the same fare as all other regular routes.
Thank you. And another question. How do I learn how to put my bike on the bus or train?
I believe we have a video that kind of shows how, but I'm gonna find a video and link it to this person. So I'll find a video and we can link it when we send this out because what I used to do is when I used to work, I used to work at Move Minnesota, is we would take out the bus bike rack and have people try it out, and we can do that sometimes too, but it's just really heavy to lug around. But yeah, it's great to practice because I understand the fear of like holding people up and um, it's a little bit daunting at first. But yeah, I'm sure we have a video somewhere, and we'll link it up in the response.
I would like to just add that bus drivers uh, are more than happy to and very patient with anybody who is doing this for the first time. Want to take some of the intimidation factor. Um, um, don't worry about it taking a little bit longer. I've seen bus drivers come out and assist and put the bikes onto the rack to show people how to use it. And once you do it, then you understand it is really efficient and quick. It's just a matter of doing it for the first time.
Yeah, now I'll quickly run through it. You wave at the driver, make sure he sees you or they see you. You pull up on the handle that drops the tray down, and then you grab your bike with two hands by the frame and you try to put it to the furthest back rack. There's two trays. You try to put it in the furthest back tray, and once it's both of its wheels are in there, there's going to be a rod that you pull and you bring it up and over your front wheel. And then once you are getting your bike back, it's the same thing but reversed. You tell the driver, hey, I'm getting off and I'm going to grab my bike. You pull up the thing, take your bike off, and then if your bike is the last bike on the rack, you actually have to push the bike rack back up because the driver will not drive without or with the rack down with no bikes on it. But again, I'm sure there's a video. I will try to find one for you and send it out.
Actually, Eric, there is a video.
Yes.
Commuter Services, we did do a little video about that about a year ago. So we do have that. I can drop that in when we send out the questions and the links to everything. Also, we are also blessed with a bus bike rack that we often take with us for community events. So if you're out and about around the South Metro, you see us, come on over and we're happy to show you how it works.
Thank you. Another question. Are senior reduced fare passes applicable on this bus?
Yep, they are. So whatever the reduced pass fares are going to be the same on this bus as well. And if you can just enter that in on the ticket machine as you're paying for your ticket.
Sounds good. Okay, another question. Are the how to ride sessions that Doug Cook teaches, are those free?
They are. All you have to do is reach out and kind of explain your need and we can set those up.
Cool. And a question about the passport adventure. Will transfers be included?
Yeah, so the folks that are participating really just want to see your passport, and we're kind of going by the honor system that everybody is arriving to these locations via transit. So you're going to show up to any of these locations. get a stamp, and then again those 2 spots to show that you've gotten all of your requisite 3 stamps is Minneapolis College on December 6th, or the Walker Library a week from then, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you. So that is all the questions that we've received so far, but we can hang on for another minute in case someone is about to start typing.
Otherwise, too, if you come up with questions later, feel free to reach out at eline@metrotransit.org, and we'll try to respond as quick as possible.
We did get another question, Eric. It says, how has farebox recovery been affected when switching routes from standard local to off-board payment?
It's kind of a question for our operations folks. I'll ask. That's an interesting question, because otherwise the local route service, the fare box comes with you, as opposed to someone going out and stopping at the different stations. But that's a great question. I'll ask and try to respond to this.
And we have, the person says this is not Q. So I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that was not the question. And then person typed in a comment. They're thanking you. And we thank everyone who has logged on to join us with this webinar. I'll turn it over to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Melissa. When we send out our slide deck and the link for everything, you will also see on our last slide, there is contact information for Eric and John and myself. So if you have any further questions, or you need some clarification, or you just want to learn more about other sustainable transportation modes, we are happy to help you with whatever we can help you with. And I think with that, gentlemen, do you have anything to add?
Thanks for everyone for participating. We hope to see you on the opening December 6th. Come out. It's going to be a party. It'll be a lot of fun. Try out the new E-Line. And again, there's so much fun stuff to do along the E-Line, whether you're trying to go out to try new restaurants, go shopping, visit the lakes. Ton to do. So really excited for it.
Very good. All right, and with that, we will cut a little bit early. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.